All right, we've got to talk about people making videos in their car. Really? You can't get out of your fucking car. You got something so important to say to the whole goddamn world, but it's not worthy of you pulling the fucking car over or just getting out of your goddamn car to enlighten us with this fucking amazing thing that you got to tell the whole planet. I mean, Jesus Christ. People, get out of your car. Well, all right. You know, I've always said that every time I go to work, it's someone's big day. And that is oh so true when it comes to doing gigs and concerts and events in New York City. And where that really hits home is a gig I used to do called Fashion Rocks. I did it for 4 years in a row. And it's all about bands playing, models walking around, actors coming in and out, introducing the different packages. And my gig is I'm on the side of the stage and I do the set changes. I switch the one band to the next thing, the next thing to the next thing. If we're flipping it around, we're moving it around. That's what the thing is, and that's what I'm doing. So the thing about that is that you'll find that the people that are in the fashion business, they are very excited to be there. They're very excited to be there, and that's a contrast with all of us working personnel, the stagehands, the technicians, who we are not excited to be there. You know, it's another day at work, and especially big gigs like this, you know, you could be on your feet 18, 19 hours a day, easy, pretty exhausting, pretty relentless, and it's what it is. And it's how we do it. Well, I remember this one year specifically with the Fashion Rocks where I'm on stage and I'm miking up one of the bands and I get a call from my fiance, and she's a surgical technician. She works in the OR, and what she does is she facilitates the surgeon to do his stuff, and she hands him all the stuff, and she's in charge of all that stuff, and it's a bit of a gory adventure, you know. It's certainly not what I'm doing. And she calls me up and she says, "Hey, baby, I just want to tell you that I miss you and I love you." And I hear this guy screaming in the background. I'm like, "Yeah, but what's going on there?" She goes, "Oh, we got to do an emergency amputation. I had to go get the bone saw kit. And we got to cut this guy's leg off. But I love you and I'll talk to you later." And she hangs up. You know, like, you know, put it in perspective. Here I am miking up Elton John, and there she is, you know, getting ready to cut someone's leg off. I mean, it brings it together about when you see people freaking out at the gig. I've always said, people, we are not saving lives here. I've always kept that in perspective, right? So a little bit later, I'm waiting for the elevator, and I'm going up on the up to the second mezz, and I'm waiting by the elevator, and there's this British guy that's talking to all these seat fillers there. And he said, and if you don't know, whenever a television event is happening and some celebrity's got to get up to use the bathroom or do whatever, some good-looking seat filler runs down there and sits in the spot so there's no empty seats. That's how they do it. And so I'm standing there waiting for the elevator, and this British guy says to this group of good-looking men and women standing there, he goes, "You are the men and women of Fashion Rocks, and everybody wants you." And I'm looking at him like, that's kind of an odd thing to say. And then he says, "This tonight is the most important thing that's ever happened in the history of the world." I'm looking at this guy like, what a douchebag, you know? You know, right now my wife is putting someone's leg in a plastic bag while you're giving this nonsense speech about this being the most important thing in the world, man. I mean, I get the fashion and I get the rock and I get that it's a big gig for somebody and, you know, it's all this and that. But, you know, you got to keep in perspective of what it is that we do and what it is that other people are doing. And I'm not trying to diminish what we're doing, but, you know, as I've always said, whenever the gig goes sideways, nobody has to go get the bone saw kit.